This is how I've decided I'm going to carry my rods in this car. I'm going to keep them over the passenger seat. The butt ends are going to rest in something that mounts to the back seats, and the front ends are going to rest in something that attaches to that headrest. That way, the rods are not going to interfere with my radio and my tablet that I have mounted up on the front dashboard. At the front seat, between the outer two, it looks like the spacing needs to be 4.5 inches, and then between the inner two, it looks like maybe 6.5 inches is going to be about right. Based off of the design of the previous rod holders that I made up a quick sketch of how I think this one's going to be laid out, along with the size of the holes, the length of the piece of wood that I'm going to use, and how far those holes are spaced off of the edge. I found this in my scrap pile that looks like it's going to be the perfect thing to use. A nice piece of quarter sawn oak. First step is to cut off the rough end of this piece and then cut it to length. Now that the hole locations are laid out, we want to center punch those so that we can drill them properly. I'm going to drill these holes with the 3/4 inch Forstner drill bit, which will center, this point will center on the punch hole that I made, and when it cuts, it will cut a round hole that is broken out. Now if I did that just like this, it would probably end up tearing out the edge of this wood, so I'm going to clamp a scrap piece on here so that when I drill, this scrap piece will become sacrificial and it will back up this wood that's on the edge. So it should get a nice clean hole, and then I'll have to move this for each one of the 4 holes that I'm going to drill. But then I'll just throw this piece of wood away at the end, which is fine. That's all 4 holes drilled. So there's our piece. That looks like it should work really nice. My previous rod holder was held in place by taking this little gap right here and sliding it over the post for the headrest, and then swinging this into place and then dropping this latch down, and that's what held this in place between the 2 headrests. But this new piece is gonna just hook onto one headrest, but I think I'm going to do it the same way, where I have a little hook that sticks out that's fixed, so that I can hook that onto the post of the headrest, swing this in place, and then swing down a little latch that will hold this in place. So I'm going to make that out of wood and maybe plastic. We'll see. The width of this gap, which goes around the headrest, is 9/16 tall, which probably envelopes some sort of a metric post since it's a foreign car. So I'm going to make a couple of strips that are 9/16, and those will be the basis for my latches. I'm going to cut a strip that's 9/16 wide and then cut that into 2-inch long sections. Now these spacers can be attached so that the spacing between them matches the spacing between the bars of the headrest. For the fixed side of the latch, it looks like a strip that's 2 inches long by 1 1/4 will hold on to that bar on the headrest just fine. All right, let's install it and see how it fits. Great. Now that we've got a holder for the front of the rods that keeps them nice and clear in the front, now we need something to support the back of the rods in the back. So now I've got to figure out how to attach that.